enough.
Yeah, he was kind of overlooked in the game, but he could have done more. The fact that he was the sole physical damage dealer, if you're active early against these guys who are going to build that magic resistance, you can get a lot in there. He had one death, but then Santorin, on the other hand, player of the game, 100% kill participation.
Got a shout out to the American flag on the chair of GBM. Thank you very much. Continue. Sorry, Santorin.
He loves America.
Good. Everyone should.
His first 4th of July here, I assume.
Unless he vacationed, yeah.
Yeah.
This is his first year in the NA LCS.
Yeah. And both teams jumping back to the game. Their macro play was night and day here for NRG between yesterday and today. But Echo Fox, you're seeing all of the cracks in theirs, right? Beginning of the game, KFO, they went for this great play bottom that didn't work out with Keith and Big, and then KFO gets really far behind, and he continues to get far behind, and then NRG makes a play on the opposite side of the map for Dragon, and they pick up a bunch of kills because Echo Fox contested it, and that was another problem that ended up surfacing.
And here we see that after being wiser to Echo Fox's tricks, the Rise ban will come through once again on the blue side for NRG. They actually dropped their Vladimir ban because Echo Fox did it for them. Red side Vladimir ban's not exactly a surprise to anyone here. And so they just add a different mage to the list of champions they want off the map. And Nivian Cassio remaining from the previous time. Meanwhile, this means Echo Fox have actually now dropped their Illaoi ban.
I still think it's a first pick Karma here. Maybe eventually you go for the Illaoi, but
yeah. With the landscape of bans and the knowledge of these guys' champion pools, the first pick Karma makes actually a lot of sense. I would still rather see it in the bot lane than see GBM plays something else, maybe even take the Victor second round.
Yeah, I think it's just as effective in the bottom lane, if not more so.
Although, if Quas is playing very well and Santorin wants to go back to something like Graves, I could totally see Zillion Karma being the mid-support synergy and just empower Quas and Santorin to take over the game, because those two are playing quite well, two of the very best in the team, and generally speaking, I'd be comfortable playing around them. Well, right now, that was just standard picks coming through. Interesting to see the early pick Ezreal. Something Echo Fox does pretty frequently, actually, is grab Keith's AD carry, and it's usually something long range. It's usually something early on, so they are waiting to counterpick for the most part. Rek'Sai, not a surprise, most hotly contested jungler right now.
Yeah, don't give that to Santorin, and the Ezreal is a good champion for OQ, but also it gives Keith safety, and it's a champion in his pool that if NRG do go back to the Maokai, he can at least have another escape, not going back to, maybe pulling out the Sivir or pulling out the Jhin. I think it's one of the safer AD carries for him in case Quas does that again.
Sure, of course, and Karma can already give you some backline access. Now it's time for NRG to make their choices. They've got to show us at least something. Jungler AD carry would be the safe choice, and they can wait and show everything else. And looks like, yeah, they're going to be playing the solo lane counter pick game right now, as they will in fact take jungler and AD carry, deciding between Lucian and Sivir, and it's going to be Sivir.
A lot of enabling here. A lot of speed bursts from NRG's side, having both the Karma and the Sivir combination. It's kind of a bully lane. It helps cover Sivir's weakness. You can actually get some kills with the Karma, with the CC.
Your pushing's insane.
Uh-huh.
You can keep under the turret and never have to fight actual champions.
Especially something like an Ezreal that lacks the wave clear at all stages of the game.
Yeah. And he doesn't build attack damage early on either, so he always has to miss a shot to last hit under turret. And all those things can contribute to getting a small farm lead if Big doesn't play it exactly right under the turret. They have to even match up 2-on-2, of course. That's entirely up for debate. All right, well, Echo Fox now have to show one of their solo lanes, maybe even both. They're going to show that Swain will be a flex pick. When we go back to the Zyra support, actually, Big going to grab that one. Zyra actually, I think, is, if you're playing against another poke support, right, someone who can't really all in, such as a Karma, I actually think Zyra works very, very well. Like, if you're playing the same style, Zyra's the best at this style. Whereas comparing, playing like against a Sona or against a Leona who can get onto you or to sustain through it, this should end up being a good matchup, and I feel pretty good about Echo Fox's dual lane. I think they'd like a 2-on-2.
I think that the fact that they can bully them out definitely helps them to gain an advantage there. The Zyra, usually you want to lane swap against it. It has some good pushing power, great harass. It was changed in 6.13 for the Spell Thief's Edge.
It's heavily nerfed next week, but this one, she's still a great one and the best.
Yeah.
The uncoordinated support in the game.
True. The Spell Thief's Edge turns off when you last hit one of her plants as a support, and that got changed in 6.13, but in 6.12, the patch they're playing on, it can be quite a nuisance.
Ooh, I would not like Jax here, but they are going to grab it. I think it's a risky matchup up against Swain, but they want to give an enabled top laner to Quas. They won't go Zillion after all. It will be a more standard mage in Victor, but they are going to let Quas try to run over this game. But a blind pick Jax, a very strange game to pick a Jax into when you already knew you did well with the Maokai.
Yeah, and right now, Echo Fox for KFO, they could lock in something like, or they could give him Swain. They could also pick a Fiora for him. They could give him a Morelia and have him play the skill matchup. Shen, even if it is in his champion pool.
Yeah.
Or go back to Malphite, you know?
Just back to the Malphite.
Back to the Malphite.
Okay, so Varus mid coming through as a pickup for Frog, and it will be the Swain in the matchup. I think that was not a big surprise to much of anyone here, but interesting that we're seeing, again, more sort of different types of things. Once again, another game without seeing Azir in the champ select at all. Not really in the pools of these players, despite being hotly contested elsewhere. But Frog going to play poke up against Victor, and, well, that now explains why we had the Ezreal in the first place. If Echo Fox says, oh, NRG loves playing Victor, they're going to go for it again, probably right here. And they, from the very start, say, okay, well, Rek'Sai, we're going to grab the Ezreal because we intend to go for poke later on. And they push forward, and they push forward, and then here they are with this kind of situation. And then even if NRG gets in, Swain and Zyra are great at playing a mid-range team fight once you get in with the Varus ulti on top. So Echo Fox have a nice sort of well-rounded composition here.
Yeah, they have a lot of pick potential too. If you're able to land a Grasping Root, if you land a Never Move, you're going to land the other one.
Iceborne
and then
Gauntlet
you're going
slow
to be
even.
able to, yeah, exactly. Iceborne Gauntlet slow, and you're going to be able to land those piercing arrows and do a lot of damage here. So they have great siege potential. They have a decent amount of mixed damage because Zyra eventually becomes another magic damage threat.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, honestly, it looks like a little bit of the Jax show with some wave clear from GBM. So I like this 4-1 a little bit better, but I still think that it's a great matchup.
Well, we'll see what happens this one. So before we jump into the game, we're looking for you to share some photos with us at LoL eSports using the hashtag LOCKIN. We want to know what kind of cool and crazy setups you guys have at home watching the LCS. So stop watching for a second and get your phone out, get us a selfie, let us know what's going on up in your home. We'll feature some of the best picks later on in the show. But now it is time, well, almost time to get ourselves into game 2. We have, unfortunately, another pause at the start of this one, but as you were saying, Zeri, before we moved on, a 4-1 composition to a certain extent. Victor and Sivir, great wave clear. Karma and Gragas can keep the rest of NRG alive while they're playing this style, and they hope that Quas continues to play excellently and wins his one-on-one.
Yeah,
the difficulty, though, is I think it's going to be hard to be against Swain.
It is going to be hard. He also took Ghost, so he's looking for, if he gets an advantage, to run down Swain, run down to that back line. But this makes him a susceptible target to Grasping Roots later on. It makes him a susceptible target to things like the Chain of Corruption.
Yeah.
So he has to literally run through the team instead of getting those flash counter strikes. And he's been playing, I think the last time he played Jax, he also did the same thing.
Brought Ghost on it.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly got buffed not too long ago, so bringing the Summoner out, and we are now into the second game of this best of 3. NRG took game 1 off of some smart lane swap play and just an overall better macro game right here, and that's been Echo Fox's downfall for most of this split, actually. But there's always a chance at a comeback. Echo Fox with a nice comp for themselves that's internally consistent. They've only got the Rek'Sai for the tank, but it's probably okay in a poke comp, to be honest.
So GBM has the Ghost instead of the Cleanse. Some people take the Cleanse against the Varus for the Chain of Corruption, but
and also not teleport, right?
passes it up, yeah. It's also Warlords for Froggen.
That's more atypical.
Yeah,
Deathfire touches way more damage.
yeah.
So I've played this matchup personally exactly once. I've seen it played more than I've played it. When I played it, it felt really hard to be the Varus because Victor walks up to you and lands a death ray, and you just have no counter to it. He'll just get damage on you over time, and he outtrades you. And so if that remains true, Froggen just gets to sustain through it, right? He gets to go a very early tier, as you're seeing with his build here, and it lets him get a sort of greedier build out. In professional play, that matchup has looked closer, but it still feels like GBM has the tools, and with him bringing Ghost, he can really try to push on Froggen.
Yeah, and Froggen, it's kind of tipping his hand, of course. You don't always see what mastery they have right off the bat if you're the enemy.
Course.
But Froggen is basically saying, I'm going to go look for that early tier. He's playing the scaling game here. If you want to bully Victor out of lane, you go with longsword start. You go with having a Doran's blade start. And you make sure that you can actually push him out. But Froggen went very safe with the Sapphire Crystal. Also has Warlord, so he's just looking to sustain. And Big goes for the invade. This is something that he doesn't always do.
Yep.
And
doesn't go for the Q over the wall, doesn't try to get in the harass down, and Santorin will be safe. He smites it out, and Now he has some vision on the bot side.
Yeah, doesn't even go for the Q harass to even get the gold from his spell thieves.
Yeah. He's very afraid of getting jumped on by a Gragas plus a Jax. I mean, theoretically, right? If the Jax is running Ghost, he will eventually run you down. I could see it being a huge risk. I would have gone for it. I probably died, but who knows?
Maybe.
Hard mostly undisturbed. Actually, what's worth pointing out is it looks like Echo Fox were able to get 2 camps.
KFO is sitting down here as Swain. There we go.
Yeah.
Gives him a little present.
As long as he's willing to teleport, I think it's fine. And yeah, gets as much XP as he could. And we are now onto this turret right here. No big losses.
Yeah, and this
Great
is what
camp
that
back and
Warlord's for. Kiwi Kid's gonna die though.
Well, this is his second time dying to a turret in a lane swap. This happened last split, I believe, on Team Dignitas.
Why am I always on these games? Why is it me? I think it even happened in Challenger. Somebody died to a turret last week. And maybe then it was them backing a little bit faster, but that's...
Ezreal actually leached some of the gold.
Yeah.
Keith got 150 of the money that would have gone over to his teammate. However, that does allow him to buy tier on the first back. So if he does, he doesn't get any potions, so it wouldn't be the most ideal. NRG, sadly, will be one wave late on the turret take because they're missing Kiwi Kid, who also is now short.
A flash.
Yeah, a flash and 32 some odd gold.
A flash, a level, gold. I remember last time some people were like, oh, no, they're intentionally getting executed so that they can back faster. I'm like, no. They use summoner spells. He just used one.
And now here's the play on the frog, and everybody's around. And look at that, surprised by Kiwi Kid. You know where he's coming from.
Yeah, frogging on the wrong side of the map.
So screwed. He is completely screwed right now. The Ghost coming in just to make sure this shouldn't be even difficult now for Quas. The question is how many assist triggers come off, because if Froggen makes him get a solo kill, that is gold denied from the rest of the team, and looks like that will be the case. He's life-stealing with the Warlord's Bloodlust. The first blood does go unassisted, so Froggen delayed, removed 200 gold from the pockets of NRG in a way, bought some time, but obviously way, way better for NRG.
Yeah, blew 2 summoner spells for 2 overall. I guess Kiwi Kid also ignited there, so 3 for 2 in terms of summoner spells. Quas with no TP or Ghost himself. And now we're back to 2-on-2 lanes.
Yep.
In standard lanes, but Fox still has a little bit of a gold lead off of the CS in the top lane, because KFO has just been dominating.
No potions and tier for Ezreal, so Keith, yeah, he did go for that one. It does mean he could get pushed out by OQ Sivir if the ricochets come through. He's got to be a little bit cognizant of that fact. Otherwise, he'll probably be okay with this one. KFO, this wave will push in, so far, Mark's words have been heard.
Yeah, if they're good about this, Hard can dive Quas, prevent him from getting wave. Like, this is what a jungler should be doing when there's a big wave building up on the top side, especially if the enemy jungler shows himself.
Well, Santorin's actually coming in to reinforce Quas, and it looks like that dive won't be able to happen. Jax, definitely one of the harder champions to dive thanks to Counter-Strike.
Oh, he would have used it here too.
Oh, you're right. That could have been... Well, Gragas ended up being around. Hard was chilling to make sure there was no counter push on the KFO, but the problem is he left so early that he left before the dive ever would have come through, and now Santorin's behind him. Hard just kind of misplayed the entire situation. He should have been sticking around.
KFO...
And this is a bad spot to be a Swain. He's doing some damage to Quas, but not quite enough. The kill comes through. NRG have a 2-0 Jax. I blame KFO. I blame Hard. Echo Fox continue to have huge macro struggles. The root gets spell shielded by OQ. He walks away just fine. Some damage back onto Big. And NRG continuing to absolutely demolish now. And Echo Fox, but they're still trying to win the 2-on-2. More plants come out. And you can see mechanically they're not far off as players, but huge mistakes in how to actually play a coordinated League of Legends.
And honestly, it's a strangle type of strategy of League of Legends that they're missing. They're playing like a friendly League of Legends game, right? It's the I'm not gonna camp this lane really hard. It's like I'm gonna lightly camp it, or I'm gonna let you pick up this CS. You know, gentleman's agreement. You push this towards my turret, I'll push that towards yours, and back and forth. But see right there, now they know Santorin is there because he walked over the tunnel and it showed the animation. KFO could have known that Santorin was going to gank him because the Rek'Sai tunnel was stepped over and it made that sound right next to his screen previously. It was the one on this left side over here.
Yeah,
one actually a little
near the Gromp on the left-hand side of the map. But now KFO knocked onto the other side of the map yet again. Santorin is here, and Quas!
3 kills?
Never fear, an assist for him. Scumbag GBM steals it away, but oh man, Santorin continues to be in the right place. And KFO, by the way, is now 0-6-0 in this series.
Like, it baffles me because you don't have to be there. You don't have to be in these situations as KFO. You can go wait, you can have your team swap you to bottom, you can have all these other things happen. Like, he's had the CS advantage for a while and get some help and maybe even deny Quas, but Quas jumps ahead of him in levels and probably in gold as well. Let me check it here. Yeah, he's 600 up now.
I mean, 2 kills and assists for 7 CS. I imagine you got to be ahead on this one. This Froggen wants to push it in the mid lane, and he's got support from Big as well. So it's a trade of blows. Actually, GBM stops the arrow, but look at the burst damage coming across. The exhaust saves his life. The knockout comes through for Hard, and yes, Froggen survives the encounter just barely. Finally, something on the board for Echo Fox. A nice roam to the mid lane.
And that's the type of play right there where GBM has flash as well, right? And Hard comes from behind the turret, flash knockup, no hesitation. That's obviously a play that like Big and Froggen are both coordinating on, whereas Hard and KFO could have pulled off almost the same thing against Quas in the top side, and they didn't do it. And that's showing that calling for resources is a big part of how you get your team ahead. You make sure that you are communicating, that you're presenting the opportunities to the jungler. He doesn't always know exactly what's going on in that lane.
That's the funny thing, is I want to contrast those dives some more, because in this one, it's a standard, just while we're pushing in the wave, make sure you show up. Boom, boom, root lands, the flash knockup, GBM never really sees it coming. And he was focused on trying to fight Froggen back, right? So I don't think he even knew that Hard was suddenly behind him. But that's Froggen just, hey, on this wave, we're diving. I'm pushing this one in, let's show up. It's just a good call and a good capitalization. And now the attack for the top side. Quas, no ghost. Doesn't seem to matter. I want to actually contrast the top one, though. Because anytime you have a situation like this where like one outer turret's dead, actually got to watch this first because you got the flash route on D2 has nowhere to go. He's not going to get out, but a lot of damage on OQ. 7 heal burned by him, trying to run away, and the kill off by the Kiwi Kid. This is a lost 2-on-2 that NRG wanted to have. Keith actually missed a shot blocked by minions, and he's just going to die. Quas leaps in to say, hey guys, I'm back. 3-0-1.
I think if you're going to give a kill over, you don't give it over to the Jax. I think you run off to the side, to the left. Quas didn't have his ghost just yet. Now it's up, finally.
Keith misjudged when the minion wave was coming in. It was going to get blocked anyway by the melee minion that walked in front of him. He did not need to push that hard. That could have been a safe one for 0. Oof. Anytime you see one good thing by Echo Fox, something else comes around and turns it away.
Yep. Santorin saw the ward get cleared out, looking for Hard in the jungle. Calling people up to him, you can see he's pinging for assists. If he stops Hard's tunnel.
Ooh, nice body slam, nice explosive cast, but Hard waits on the pop
He's
until
delaying them.
Yeah, all the CC is burned. He should be able to get away from this one, not a problem. 900 gold lead for NRG eSports.
And you wanted to say something about the top dive and the contrast.
Yeah, so when you're in one of those long lanes like that, when an outer turret is dead, minion wave pushes are very obvious. There's a huge build-up. It takes like 40 seconds. Travel time not even included in that formula right there. Every jungler in the world who plays at an LCS level knows, hey, when there's a 2-3 size minion wave, 3 waves big, by the way, there's a chance at a dive. TPs could show up, jungle could be there. Santorin was under that turret by the time that wave crashed. One of 2 things happens. Either you 2v1 dive the guy under the turret, or you turn it into a counter push because he's so overcommitted, your own mid laner shows up first. Hard walked down, was like, yeah, you're sure pushing into that turret. Santorin's not going to gank until it crashes. And he recalls well before Santorin's there. Like, Hard just forgot that this is what triple minion wave pushes look like. Yeah. And that, by the way, the jungler will always be there to always defend that dive. And if you're not there, he will then fight you 2v1. And Hard just forgot, and so did KFO.
Well, you should have done it really early because it's a summoner spell list champion.
And even before the turret, you go for it. GBM knocked up. Gravity Well is there. Still gets tagged by everything. And finally, we're seeing Echo Fox get some life out of the bottom lane. Prey Seeker gets some. Hard finally gets something to happen. 1-0-1 on him. Takes down GBM. And Echo Fox are trying to claw back into this game.
Only 200 gold. They're actually pretty even right now with this team. There's a minion wave for him to pick up. Frog is going to get zoned from it.
Trying to wave clear. But you've got Santorin also knocking the turret down, so here comes the play. KFO teleporting in to the mid lane. Sivir ulti and Karma empowered shield just gets them the heck out of there.
Yeah, big flash rooted, and it wasn't going to reach because so many movement speed increases. Keith, on the other hand, is going to get some great damage on this bottom turret. I think he's actually going to pick that one up. And that's going to tell Quas time to go.
Froggen is out of mana. The root misses for Big. He walked in a straight line. But at least they're zoned out by the Stranglethorns, and Keith had enough time alone in the bot lane with the Mana Mune Rush, the extra damage to knock that turret down. So Echo Fox actually with the gold lead. They finally made a nice play. But NRG are grouped up with a mana and health bar advantage. And they want the Ocean Drake.
Quas just man-moded that because he walked into that bush with Counter-Strike on, blind. He was dead blind in that.
Oh, well, Froggen is going to be blind and dead now on this one. Quas on a rampage. He's got the Hextrigger pop and does get killed off, so Keith gets a kill in return, a 1-for-1. But now the repeat attempt for the Ocean Drake. Hard is around, and he does have Smite. He has it, 2,000 HP left on that one. No explosive cask up for Santorin. His Smite is up, though.
And they're just taking damage from it now. This also slows.
Yeah, well, go for it, tags. 1,300, Ezreal across. Oh, it leashed back, but blue team picks it up. Santorin never even had to smite. Hard smited early. It leashed back. GVM did the damage.
Another objective going over to NRG. They had complete control as well. Save for that one Infernal last game. But Echo Fox still up in goal off that turret take. NRG gonna try to answer back with this one, but Hard.
A lot of AoE. OQ pulled turret dagger for 2 turret shots. Hard goes in into a waiting Victor damage output. Loses his flash for the privilege.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna flash in
and just go for the hard
and
play
try to knock them up, but you know, Hard does, or sorry, OQ has both summoner spells, and GBM has his ghost, so it would have had to have been a swift hit there. So he wards with his trinket as he's approaching, and Big had 100% opportunity to root him there on the
Also disengages, but now it's down for the resulting team fight afterwards.
Yeah. May have not had to use the ultimate if he didn't miss.
Yep.
Nice arrow there from Froggen.
Sure. Poke on a Quas. But yeah, he's just routinely out of mana right now, honestly. Yeah. Ocean Drake would have helped him a ton.
It would have. Honestly, that would have been a fantastic Drake to have.
But a sick play by Santorin to get that kill in.
Yeah. The body slam flash, keg backwards. And they back up. They trade Quas for it, and then the Ocean Drake goes over.
And NRG once again pushing the tempo, keeping their mana bars up. Inspired Defiance comes through, hasting them. And Echo Fox have to respect the threat of a dive, and that will be a turret going down finally. NRG getting their first one that wasn't part of the lane swap game, so something gained here. Quas going to teleport to hold the mid lane, and yeah, no marksman in the world feels good fighting a Jax right there. Froggen least of all. There's not the best melee range one, and Quas will get himself some pressure, and Froggen gets some damage on the turret, but he can't stay too terribly long. New wave coming in. Hard pulls aggro. He's got to ditch that. And yeah, Quasic didn't buy all that much time overall because he didn't have any reinforcements, whereas Echo Fox did. So we're actually seeing a much more proactive game now out of the red team. They've actually gotten some things to happen.
But OQ's pushing top this entire time, so he's actually trying to answer with a turret of his own. He's actually going to do a decent amount of damage. He'll get it on the next wave.
NRG really up tempo here. Yeah, this will die on this wave. There was no one, well, if he's afraid of getting killed, he would run, but KiwiKid has already warded for him, and he's just sitting there by the red buff, knowing that no one's coming up there.
Like, if I'm KiwiKid, I'm actually okay with stalling them and dying if it gets him the turret.
And it gets OQ out and surviving, so I totally agree. Nice setup, once again. NRG ahead in the play, up tempo, and this is a threat where OQ could have been dived, but KiwiKid was there to give him the vision, to make sure it was safe, to make sure it was fine, and there was no collapse at all by Echo Fox.
Yep, and then it evens up the turrets, evens up the gold. Neck right now at 16 minutes for these teams.
Yeah, the only difference being that one team's up to Drake and that these teams will scale a little bit differently.
Yeah,
a lot of it being that Jax is ahead.
I also want to talk about, exactly, the scaling, because Jax has a lot of this gold, whereas Big actually has a lot of his team's gold. You can see he's 500 up right now, and that's where they're equalizing it, because it's 1,300 for Quas.
Yeah.
And then Froggen's up 400, Big is up 500. That's where the discrepancy is.
Yeah, Hard's
up 600. Like the junglers, unfortunately,
it's basically where the kills are, right?
Yeah.
4 kills on Jax, 2 on the Rex side, 2 on the Zyra, right?
I would rather have 4 on Jax.
I completely agree with you.
Zyra's great. Don't get me wrong. Zyra's fantastic.
But I agree that Jax with 4 kills sounds amazing right now. Hard in a bad spot, does get away from the gravity well. Keeping it. Oh, what a snipe by Keith! but Santorin actually can't get enough damage either, and the kite back from Echo Fox works beautifully. NRG weren't able to get in. No one burned any summons. They just didn't really try hard enough. 2 picks for Echo Fox.
I think that Echo Fox may have earned themselves a Rift Herald if they want it, which they should get.
Yeah, there's no turrets to easily take. The outers are already dead, so walk to the top side and grab that one. Ocean Drake's still 2 minutes away.
Like, just get the Rift Herald. I don't really care who you give it to as long as it's not on Quas. It's halved for range champions in terms of the damage it deals.
Which means only Hard gets full damage out of it.
So Hard gets full damage from it. I see a lot of Swains still do it, though, so that they can hit turrets if they ever split push.
Keith gets it. So, well, the funny thing is...
Okay.
So, yes, the Glimpse of the Void actually does trigger from on-hit effects, which Mystic Shot will count for. But he's got to be alone to build up charges.
Alone in the back line.
Just a ton of damage hitting Kiwi. What a beautiful Mystic Shot.
He got knocked up right at the very edge of the Stranglethorn, too.
Yeah.
And it's 2 kills going over to Keith. I mean, the Ezreal having kills now was definitely going to help them stop NRG getting in because his Iceborne Gauntlet's completed a little bit earlier, but still CS has been rather low for both AD carries in this game.
Yeah, it's been kind of a strange one, honestly. They've been battling a fair bit and running back and forth around the map. Small lead for Echo Fox, sitting at that slightly over 1,000 mark. Big having a much better game than he was last time. I thought his Nami game was really, really bad, but the Zyra one's been pretty solid.
Yeah, if this goes to a game 3, I think Zyra's going to become contested between both Kiwi Kid and Big. They both love that champion.
Yeah. Nice little bit of help by Santorin. He's got the green smite anyway, so there's not much to hit with it. And he says, yeah, OQ, I'll help you get that red buff a little bit sooner. Here you go, buddy.
Ooh. Santorin has Runic Echoes into Glacial Shroud. This feels awful, by the way, as Gragas, because you sit around with 1,500 HP, the same as what Victor has, and you're just not a tank. There's nobody else on this squad that's going to be tanky. So,
ooh, that's weird.
KFO will be able to kill him. Like I think he wants to go Iceborne Gauntlet.
So, I actually dislike this heavily. The reason being, Echo Fox have a very clear poke composition. The way you beat a poke comp is you got to get in on them and get the fight to start. And if Santorin can't manage to sit in the front lines, like he'll just die to ambient damage from KFO and Big. Keith kills him in 3 Mystic Shots. And who's going to tank for Quas? How's that fight even going to work well? I don't know if I agree with the non-tank build right now.
It sounds really weird to say from myself, but like I think the optimal Gragas build would be something like Righteous Glory into Zerat Portal here. It sounds crazy, but you get the Righteous Glory to just have another way of getting in and then a slow on top of it. And then you have the mixed resistances. GA would probably be better than the Zerat Portal, but they are a split push comp. So you could help assist Quas in keeping the wave pushed up.
I see.
But that would just be going really hard on that and not having a lot of versatility to it. So
that's true.
Here he's going Glacial Shroud into Spectre's Cowl so he can have both types of resistances.
We're also seeing the benefit. Well, and here's the thing, right? Like this is more difficult than the previous game because now you've got 2 very strong pokey marksmen. Rek'Sai does some physical as well, but there's also a Swain and a Zyra doing plenty of magic. Like plus the Hex Drinker, which feels like ass against Varus. It's like, wow, this magic damage shield is gonna block your W. Woo! Which can do some, but like feels bad with Mystic Shot and Piercing Arrow does like 800 apiece, right? Your only tank stats are Merc Treads and a Hex Drinker. It's like, well, Quas is not going to survive these fights very easily. He's built to only handle KFO. And to be fair, if your game plan is never team fight because of Jax's build, because of Santorin's build, then okay. But you've got to see that game plan actually work. Don't creep up as 5 and get smacked down by Stranglethorns. Flat armor pen coming out of Froggen right now as his Muramana's closer to combining. Plenty of physical damage available to him.
And it just looks like they're going to group up here where the Collapse is going to come in from the right side.
Oh. Kiwi Kid's behind them right now, and GVM on the other side. Teleport coming in. They've got to run to the left. Santorin wants in, and he catches Hard, who doesn't flash away. Oh, but he doesn't even get ulted. They don't care enough about him. I'm surprised because I could have picked him off for free, I think. Santorin didn't chain the CC, and I'm not sure why. I believe his ulti was up. It should have been. I haven't seen him cast it in a while. Strange to not make that pick.
Yeah, KFO still not teleporting in. I think KFO, honestly, is one of the top laners that I watch use TP the least. I've seen so many times where it's like he could have maybe turned that fight. He could have gotten in there. Now he's going to use it on the key.
Another attempt, and this time they catch Ezreal. That's what Santorin was waiting for. The pickoff on the Ezreal, and Echo Fox just have to run. A nice route from Big, still gets caught out. Look at the damage output. What is that exhaust casted earlier, buddy, if you're going to use it at all? Gets out. And Froggen plays the wave clear game, but NRG now have a power play for 15 seconds plus the travel time it takes for Keith to join them.
Yeah, that's an exhaust where you see that when you're playing with like 300 ping. This is a 8 ping land.
Yeah. Well, Quas gets onto KFO, stunned up. He's got a ninja tab. He doesn't take too terribly much damage, and he will survive that one. But mid lane outer turret goes down, and NRG take back the gold lead. And a nice pick by Santorin into the resilience to stay in the mid lane, and then a safe recall to reset the map.
Yeah, I actually think that NRG, they want to take a fight again as soon as possible because you got the Zyra flash, you got the Ezreal flash, you got the Zyra exhaust. So if I'm Quas, I really want to fight again. Just from a summoner spell standpoint, because they kill Keith and he still flashes and dies anyway.
Really beautiful right there.
Yeah. So it's a good pickup. Froggen tries to salvage the fight with a chain of corruption, but it's now 1,000 gold lead for NRG because they're just playing these fights rather well. They played the macro game better than Fox last game, and now they're playing the team fights better, and they're picking off. Even when it's Fox, they're the ones that have the pick composition. If they're able to deny vision, face-checking a Zyra is super scary.
Yep. Rooted for almost a full 2 seconds into probably more with the Varus and everything else, but that so far has not yet happened. Echo Fox haven't been able to put up with sieges that easily either. Their turrets have been off of rotations, not off of brute forcing things down with the 5-man group. There's actually NRG themselves who ran a similar composition back in the spring split against Immortals in week 2 or so and had found success sieging, but it was a Deathfire Touch GBM Varus who would just push people off the turrets over and over and over again. It required significant outplay by Immortals to get that game back, but Echo Fox not showing the same tenacity. And it's now NRG able to play.
Here comes the ghost from GBM.
Bit easily, wow, yep, the preemptive Stranglethorn still knocked back in by Santorin. Picks off the Plant Queen, and Hard has to run away. Continued excellence from this Gragas of Santorin to get in on the team.
Santorin has been playing so well this split. When you watch NRG's games, it's always a little heartbreaking for him because it's like, oh, how many first bloods this guy have? He has so many in this league. He's up there in terms of first blood leaders, and the team still just can't close out the game. Now up against Echo Fox, NRG are just trying to separate themselves a little bit and push Echo Fox down in the standings more. But Santorin, regardless, like against Echo Fox, against TSM, it doesn't matter who the opponent is, he's still playing really well.
He definitely is. So props to Santorin here, who, I mean, in both games the matchup was Rek'Sai versus Gragas, but kind of fortunate for him, all he saw on the champ select was there was a Rek'Sai and an Ezreal AD carry for Keith. And turns out being Gragas was a really big deal here because this fairly low mobility squad, most of them can't get away from a Gragas ulti.
Yeah, and
Santorin picks them off.
I talked about wanting to fight again for NRG because they had the flashes of Zyra and Ezreal down. Goes for the pick on Zyra because he knows that it's down, knows the exhaust is down. It comes back up now.
Easy half-court shot.
But exactly.
And yeah, Santorin with the early...
There is no blue buff
Swiftly
here.
boots.
Wait, it peeked out. It peeked out. He's just gonna pop it.
Ooh, KFO gets it just barely. Quas not able to steal away as he's slowed a bit by the Riley's Crystal Scepter.
Gets a love tap on the way out.
Yep.
Stay out of my jungle, son.
Yep. So the Ionian Boots of Lucidity done for Santorin. His flash is already back up. He's still got a minute to go on Keith and Big here. You might see him get even more done before too terribly long.
Yeah, and
Frozen Heart done as well.
his build's coming together. Like, he got past the bad part of it, and GBM...
Ooh, the catch happened. GBM flashing out. One hit will kill him, but they can't get the damage across. Mystic Shot not going to land. And Keith gets attacked once more. That Santorin flash coming pretty important. But Keith just squeaks away. Oh, Froggen missed the Mystic Shot.
But Santorin played that beautifully. He cast Froggen away as he was charging Piercing Arrow that would have killed GBM.
Yeah.
He didn't even give him the opportunity to do so, and he almost turns it around on Keith and gets another summoner spell for it. Brilliantly played there by Santorin. Doesn't even go down.
Very tight fight, though. It could have been a 2 for 0 either way. It ended up 0 for 0.
Yeah, he could have gotten Keith on the way out with his cask, with his barrel, his Q, and still missed it. But regardless, Really well played there.
Absolutely the case. Well, 1,500 roughly the gold difference right now. NRG still holding on to a small lead, even equal Drakes for the sides, as they both got the regeneration to both put out more and deal with poke. Froggen adding more armor pen to his build with the Mortal Reminder, and a Blade of the Rune King out from Keith soon enough is the standard third item for Blue Ezreal. It will give him a big spike in actual auto tech DPS. If a real just brawl 5-on-5 happens, that'll be really nice for him.
I'm actually a little curious about this too, because Mortal Reminder is usually an item I'm a big fan of. I don't know how much I like it here. I think Lord Dominik's may have been a better choice.
And just land the poke on people.
That or even Dusk.
Duskblade would have been interesting, certainly, but I think he has to get through
the healing of Santorin?
Yeah, and he has to get through all the armor of Santorin and whatnot, so like
Yeah,
Duskblade would not let him knock down the frontliners nearly as well. I think the percent armor pen is, I think, really solid. Keep in mind also, all the Last Whisper builds got buffed in this patch.
That's true.
A lot more AD on them.
There's legitimately only 2 armor items on the enemy team. There's 1 cloth armor, but then there's Zhonya's and Frozen Heart. So the only person that he's really building that item
damage
for
too.
Is maybe eventually Cloth's way down the line, but
yeah, I can see the stipulation.
I still think like
Lord Dominik's might just be better.
Yeah, I think it's better here. I definitely think that OQ having the Executioner's Calling is the right move.
Needs physical damage. Ricochet will do it. Now here comes the play. Ooh, Hard actually able to block out most of the body slam, so Santorin doesn't really get into anything. Bit of poke coming across and keep low on health, but they get away from the explosive cast and Strength
Sword. Keep going.
Buys them some time, but I don't know if Quas can get much done here.
He's zoning them. They're going to get the inside track.
Yes, they're going up in the mid lane, and KFO was still in the top lane clearing minutes. He's finally walking down the jungle now, and now it's NRG being cut off on the other side of the fight. They can run to the right side, where they're walking through wards. The plant's doing a little bit of damage.
And now Echo Fox gets
they have control of mid.
mid.
Bot lane's not in a good spot for NRG to deal with right now. They've got to go for some kind of weird recalls. Maybe they can go for Cloud Drake, but if they do that, they lose a turret for certain. There's enough miniwave to knock this turret down. This is a very strange situation. And looks like Echo Fox will for sure get mid lane tier 2.
It's also double AD, right? So they get this turret pretty much for free.
And here comes the same play. Quas has teleport, and he has teammates coming down the mid lane. KFO is with the squad, a root on a Santorin. Good damage out from GBM. Cloud Drake not even picked up, but now Quas is here. He finds the play. A 3-man stun, but Echo Fox still able to walk out. More damage coming out of NRG, but still not enough. Echo Fox bring that gold lead a little bit closer now. 4-4 in turrets. Once again, back to the mid lane.
Yeah, NRG with these flashes down. They could have jumped in on that, and GBM's going to try to hold that choke.
Getting zoned out a little bit. Waves are coming out of the Ezreal, and there won't be any turret damage to speak of. And Ocean Drakes favor the team who's lost more health because it's a missing health and missing mana heal. So you can kind of take the damage and bring it back up. Both these teams, of course, have that Drake. And now it's time for maybe Cloud. If the movement speed will help if you're playing games like this, where all the game is about is getting in, making that fight start. I actually think the ideal Drakes for this game, on either side actually, are Ocean and Cloud, because it just matters that you're in the fight at all. That you have the resources to withstand poke. And once the fight starts, you just assume NRG wins it regardless of stats. It's all about getting the picks right now. KFO knocking down the minions, playing the side waves, but it feels like he's late all the time. He's always the last one to rotate, the last one to make the play. Frozen Mallet now on Quas. You combine that with Ghost, he can stick to anyone he wants at all times.
Yeah. That's basically the objective. You're talking about getting in. Once he gets in, then problem solved, able to whack away at people with the Frozen Mallet.
Yeah. I think he wants to 1v1 though, right? This is his stats are all health and magic resist and tenacity.
Yeah.
He just wants to beat KFO.
It's going to be hard. He might need an Executioner's Calling to do so. Like, that's a very difficult matchup. Maybe he has enough damage now, and KFO doesn't have the resist to deal with it, but he does have the Ninja Tabi.
Right, and he's going towards Visage now as well with a nice health pool to deal with.
Yeah.
It's definitely a strange situation.
And I'm looking at items and thinking of strange situation here.
Yeah.
It's like Hard, he has the Spirit Visage. Really like that item on Rek'Sai, but Big is not going to buy a Locket item because he's Syra.
Right.
If you do, it's Banner, but they have nothing for GBM.
They catch Big, they knock it back into the team, he gets Stranglethorns down. They've also already blown up Keith, make that a 2-for-0 easily because Santorin got in. Help from OQ, help from Kiwi Kid, now the run towards Baron.
Every time the flashes are up for NRG, they make a play. They weren't able to do it before when that great Counter-Strike came through from Quas, because GBM and Santorin's flashes were about 20 seconds away. Immediately now, there's the go button. Coordinated dive, they go in, And now it's the Baron. Is it a bait again from NRG? Or are they going to pull the same thing with a Mantra Inspire?
It's a 5
It looks
versus
like
3.
it.
They're looking for KFO. Gravity's going to hit him. He's going to run out of health real fast. He's swaying. He's healing back up. He's doing what he can. And he's running away with it. Just barely goes down, though, as GBM smacks him with the laser. But now it's a 2 versus 5. They don't have the rest of them on the map just yet. Big's still running. Keith just respawns. The Baron bait turns into a 3rd kill.
And that's all they're using it for. They're not even just doing the Baron. Every time it's, hey, we got Karma. First pick it. Mantra Inspire. Use the Defiance. Run straight at them. Try to get more kills, get yourself further ahead in the game. This is beautiful.
Gets around hard is a really big deal.
The hard didn't block it.
Like, yeah, he could have tried.
I understand you always want to be safe, but if your AD carry's in danger and you are the tank, like, your job is to be in front of it.
Walk into the Gragas.
I understand, like, Keith probably shouldn't be there in the first place.
Sure.
And he should be throwing out Qs and trying to slow them, but well played. You see this coming almost a mile away. They're not even clearing that ward in the back of the pit. Don't know if they can see it entirely with that pink ward so far forward. But no Zhonya's on KFO. The Executioner's Calling does work here and helps that damage stick. So they are able to take him down, and he has 3 deaths again. He's not utilizing his TP. I'm trying to think if I even saw him TP in this game. Very beginning, he did to get into a lane.
Yeah, he walked from his lane to the top side, or TP'd there.
And I don't know if he's done it again, because it just feels like every game I watched with KFO recently, it's been that TP is just always up. And when they're fighting, he's focusing on getting farm because he's behind from the lane swap, or something went wrong early.
You know, Zyrene, he's just playing the threat of the teleport. He's preventing so many plays by NRG by saying, I could teleport, don't you dare.
It's going for the long con. For the first half of the split, no TPs. Second half of the split, TP every time. You're not going to see it coming.
Yep. Who knows? But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a million things you can point that are going wrong for Echo Fox. This is what happens when your team is 1-8, you know, verging on 1-9. I mean, there's a lot of issues, honestly, with the squad, and that's what's happened here right now for the pack of Echo Fox.
And both of these teams, like, we talk about how the league is improving and all those top teams are just making each other better. It seems like the teams near the bottom are playing catch up, but it's just such a large gap now.
Right.
In terms of macro play, the individual skill is, you know, sometimes questionable. Like, is it like, oh, he's dying to turrets, not making the right decision? But overall, like NRG and Fox, they aren't improving at the same rate as the other teams. When the other teams have less room to improve, honestly, right? There's so much that these teams can work on, but we're just not seeing it get better week to week.
Yep. And even things they do improve, just someone else improves faster. Now another attempt as OQ pops the ult. A little bit of poke coming through. That's kind of nice, I suppose, but not all that much being gained. Leandri's Torment done now for Big.
Yeah, he's had it for a while, and now he's picking up a... Not sure what that'll be for him.
Probably be Riley's.
Yeah, I was going to say probably
Usually Riley's on there. I've seen Void Staff second, or yeah, Void Staff second, third, depending how you define the items. Just depending what you want to go for. But Riley's is better because the slow is actually really valuable for these teams.
The synergy with the Leandris as well.
Sure, yeah.
It makes your regular plants.
It doubles the burn damage of Leandri's, but Riley's can keep them in the plants for longer. So
yes.
And Void Staff can just increase your damage. Here we go. Santorin this time caught out. He pushes back hard, and he just refuses to really go down, but finally does get exploded. A nice pickoff finally coming through.
They're still going to flank, though.
Looking for the play. 5v4 early. Zonies by GBM, and Keith once again caught out, running from Quas. Ruin King as well, and a shockingly pick off the victor. And now it's time for Quas to run away, and he secures his escape right now. Froggen can't get him out. It's a 2-for-1. Still overall in favor of Echo Fox, and the jungler, crucially, is dead.
And Keith has to use both summoner spells, and Quas just does a drive-by. He comes in from the backside, jumps in, kills Keith, jets.
Welcome to a 6-kill Jax. Hard can see him and runs away. And the fact that Echo Fox are actually losing map control in a 4v3. Ooh, nearly the kill, but OQ, spell shields late. He's gonna die for that. A huge mistake there, as he did not expect the flash or the root to come in. Gets taken. Now Echo Fox now 4-2 in that, 3-1 in that overall trade.
Yeah.
Have a lot of map control.
Big did a great job there. Duskblade does come through for Froggen, so now a lot of armor
full
penetration.
armor pen build.
And that's what you have to build on Varus. We'll see if it actually means a whole lot here, because GBM is just impacting these fights very heavily. He got the exhaust before, but he actually
that's so smart.
whiffs a bunch.
He let his Q time out to make sure he didn't show where he was.
By throwing it. Yeah. Then
Some players would just toss it out because, like, why wouldn't you?
GBM is trying to flank here. And yeah, exactly. And then he misses the laser, throws down the ultimate. Keith is still in the ultimate, and he gets stunned in it. And then Quash just chases him down.
Poor guy.
Gives him a smack.
Yep. And that's good by Quash, right? He's not built to tank a full-on fight, and Zyra can only really peel the front side of it. Here comes the teleport play, but it's Jax going to the other side of that fight. They ping it out. Echofox knows about this. They've at least got the summoner spell down. KFO used teleport. He got to the river.
Teleported to a ward that was actually timing out, too, so just trying to flank.
Yep.
But they didn't commit to it on the side of Energy.
Summoners. This is the funny thing is, like, Echo Fox, I don't even think they're best served playing Baron baits. They want the front lines to be very obvious, right? Zyra does not deal well with a split fight.
Yeah.
Janna can ult everyone back, can toss tornado one side, ult the other. Zyra gets to deal with one small area. And if you flank with the Jax, she's not controlling that Jax.
And that's what's so interesting here is that they're trying to go for these Baron baits, or they at least tried there. Like, you have tier 2s in the side lane up. These are such good objectives to fight over with your composition.
Well, they're trying to fight over Baron yet again. GBM was playing the brush. Ooh, nice bit of poke.
Or was the brush playing him?
Maybe so. Mystic Shot and Piercing Arrow tags him. He's down to half health. Some more poke. That time it gets dodged away from Echo Fox. They've already knocked down mid lane tier 2. All they're playing is wave priority, not actually objectives right now. And without teleport up and the bot wave very far away from Baron, I think right now you actually send KFO to the right side. You've already got control of mid, just get bot to go back in your favor, then bring him back afterwards. You can play the poke game. Energy can't play this very fast.
Yeah, I don't know if they can actually bring KFO to the bottom side though, because he used TP there previously.
Walk once, walk back. In my mind, you can buy the time as Echo Fox. As soon as you clear mid wave, you've got 30 seconds to play with. But a catch again in Aquasi's time. He is able to jump to a ward and get away. Poked once again, and it's now them knocking in KFO, who still does not yet have Azonias, and he will not go down to Victor. He's trying to limp away, and he does so. The Kane does enough for him. Survives just barely the ulti from GBM. Everyone has pressed R in this fight.
Elder Drake up. No vision control over it for Echo Fox.
Low health bars all around.
Has to check it. There's this gigantic wave on the top side. Fox should be on that top side.
They can knock so much of the base down. And OQ's going. OQ gets that wave. All that juicy golden experience for free. He'll hit probably level 17 or so. And Echo Fox,
it's a ricochet too. It's going to bounce forever.
I mean, he's getting everything, right? This is all going.
And that's a crit. Woo!
Money, money, money everywhere. 17 gets them all.
Cha-ching, man. That was.
Echo Fox do go for this play. This is what I expect them to do, is go for the Baron bait. But the problem is they did it a little bit slow because you've got energy coming in already. GBM at half health. Quas on the side. No ults up for many members here. Stranglethorns being one of the big ones. Santorin does have his, and OQ has the tools. But Kiwikin, why are you on that side? Why are you the only one on the left? Gets picked out by a great grasping root, I believe, from Big. Frogger's ulti was used as well, so two of them making sure the pick comes in and happens. And now Echo Fox have priority on the left-hand side of the base. However, they've also got to deal with mid. They know Energy are pushing. How do they allocate resources?
Is this a base race? Are they going to do this?
Base race of 5v4? Maybe you do. Double AD's pretty good at this one,
but
Energy's
it's a Jax
trying.
too. I don't know. It's a Jax, and it's a level 17.
Okay, this is the play.
Sivir.
This is the play. The first sets of turrets went down at the same time. It's a
Cards
5v4. This is the play. No one is willing to recall. One of these teams will win, and Echo Fox are going quite a bit faster. It's Energy who flinched first. They lose the game of chicken because when you're against Froggen, how could you not? He's the bird master, all said and done, but look at that. The fake recalls, just the fact that Victor is going back. Energy fakes him out, and they're going for the game win right now to close out the series. Now, can GBM stop the recalls? Turret 1 is gone.
He did, he stopped him.
Drop as well. GBM and Kiwi can lose their lives, but it stops the backs, and Energy make it a 2-0.
Off of an incredible backdoor. GBM seal of approval on that play.
Oh, man.
I stopped the back, guys. I got him. Great call.
Closed the gates. Gates by me, GBM this time around. Smile on Kiwi Kid. Echo Fox. Sad for them, it's a 0-2 loss.
That was insane. That went from the Baron bait to, hey, let's just run top. Energy, call it. They say, we have a Jax, we can push just as fast as double AD, and they flinched first. But what they did is they said, you guys recall. They have all 5 there. Nobody can stop this.
Yeah.
And all they had to do was stop the recalls, and the game was
Energy!
Out strategized NRG. That's how they won this one. Individual play seemed relatively close across the board, but the big win was the fact that, look, they got better shot calling happening. They got the better macro play. The base race encapsulates a lot of it. Game mode was even more obvious, where they were taking turrets for nothing and they closed the game out that way, but the American flag draped GBM tugging his opponents.
NRG end the game still down in kills.
Yeah.
And
only up 900 gold.
that game looked like it was going to go Fox's way, save for the Jax. They were starting to ramp up. They were playing for that late game with the early tier build and the Warlord's Bloodlust. The poke composition never put themselves in poke positions and kept going towards objectives. And NRG moved to 3 and 7 and a little bit closer to that playoff spot that they want to get once again.
Yep, 3 and 7, you're right. And depending on how the CLG set against TSM either is going to go or has gone, that might be 4 and 6 right above them, or 5 and 5 right above them. And Apex, of course, have a hard match as well. And you know, we'll see where that ends up with these teams.
And they play Apex next week.
Right, so there you go. This is the kind of teams that maybe NRG can start catching. The CLG set didn't look great. They got a hard fought win over Echo Fox, but I mean, that's always the story. And it's funny because the line that the pros say is it doesn't matter what happens in the regular season, it matters how you end it. Well, the problem is you don't get to end the season unless you actually get into the top 6.
It's true.
And right now, this team is sitting in 8th.
And they have a much better chance now of not falling down any further.
Right.
As Phoenix won yet to win a set, and now they own tiebreaker with both.
With a 1 and 9 Echo Fox. 2 matches up, plus owning the tiebreaker. 8 matches to go for these two teams as well. NRG have 1, 2 spots to move up. They've got 8 matches to do it. That's the hope now for NRG if they can salvage this summer split. So, of course, a thrilling conclusion to that series. And now, for a closer look at that, let's send it back to Dash and our guest analysts.
Locked in conversation until the last second here because we have plenty to say on game 2 of this series, but NRG making a pretty exciting finish to the game in the base race and a 2-0 victory over Fox in this series. Let's dive in. We'll get to the base race because that was exciting, and we will get to that, but there was a whole 35, 40 minutes of gameplay that led up to that. So starting with champion select here, last game, Echo Fox, a little magic damage heavy. This time around, a little AD damage heavy, so a physical damage heavy. It is very peculiar that they're picking double AD with an AD jungler.
Right, I think like both times they kind of picked this carry top lane. First time they took a Rise, and then they paired it up with a Victor, and then they have the Gragas as well, or the TF, excuse me. But
right, and
they had triple magic damage. This time they have
triple AD.
They have the Swain. They flex it when they see the Jax, which I think is really cool to try and punish the Jax pick. But then they go with the Varus, which I don't really think is good.
I don't mind it too much if the execution is there, but the execution was just, I mean, you know, when we tuned into the game, we're like, okay, let's see what's going on. And then we see Varus dying behind the tier 2 at 4 minutes. Like, huh.
Yeah,
how did
that's peculiar. Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to work. I mean, exactly. I mean, I understand the composition and the fact that, okay, we're going for a little bit of pokey siege here, but it's not. The execution was not. I do want to dive into gameplay. 5 minutes in, criticism towards Fox once again, but very, very clear what the problem is in this situation.
So this is going to be a very clear macro play where in the lane swap situation, you have to address the wave crashes. So this wave is going to crash, and Fox is 1 level up on the Jax, so it's going to be really important to punish this Jax and either dive him or zone him off the turret. But Rek'Sai makes a mistake of recalling, and NRG recognizes the opportunity and just goes for the gank, where Rek'Sai should have been here and dove the Jax. NRG sees the opportunity and they go for it, and this is enough to actually win the lane back for the Jax.
Yeah. Look how much damage KFO does to Jax on his own.
What should have been the end of Jax's lane ends up becoming
his way back into
Jax
the game.
Crashes the wave all the way to the tier 1 and gets all the levels back. And Fox or Swain is still level 5, the exact same level he was at the tier 2 in the top side. So this is just a huge macro blunder with the jungle pressure and the waves. Maybe a lack of communication or just not understanding the macro play, which I'm starting to believe it's just both.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, the Rek'Sai was there.
Yeah.
It seemed like they knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to push that wave in, zone Jax off CS, you win the 2v2. And then they don't do that. And the worst thing was the wave didn't even really get into the turret.
Right.
So Jax, like you said, is able to freeze it after that kill. And when the wave finally gets back to KFO, Jax is level 7. When
Right.
that play started, it was 3 to 5 and 7 to 5. Like
Right.
that's how big of a swing and a mistake that play was, because if Jax doesn't catch up there and pick up a couple random kills, which he tended to do the rest of the game, that could have been a huge advantage for Echo Fox.
Right, and that's just 5 minutes of the game. Of course, it was a rather close game for a large majority of it. We saw, kills and skirmishes traded back and forth. Even at 35 minutes, it was about 1K gold separating the two teams, so next to nothing. And that's where I do want to jump into our second replay here in the mid lane. As you see, Fox setting up that death brush with their initiate, choosing the fight here, but it's going to get chased out in the mid lane.
This is just a mistake by NRG, really overcommitting. I don't know what GBM is on using there. It was like a Mystic shot only, and then he gets popped by a ton of CC after.
It's the pose.
Yeah, I don't know, the golden Victor pose. Like the idea of the flank is a little aggressive on its own, but then he really overreacts to basically no CC coming at him. If he can Zanya's Zyra or something, I don't know. It's an aggressive play anyway, so I'm not exactly sure what you should do, but Zanya's in nothing is not quite right, and then once he gets popped, the Sivir's kind of running around, and it's just the play's in shambles.
Right, so here's the thing. Of course, both teams made mistakes. Both teams made good plays. That's all well and good. And then you have situations like this base race that seem to make the entire previous events entirely moot, right? Because it doesn't really matter how much gold is on the teams at these points or who won the last team fight. You're opting into a base race, and as we play this out, we'll talk about some of the decisions made by the Echo Fox squad here. But it is a peculiar thing. We don't see these happen very often anymore, and it's kind of clear that one team does not necessarily know what they want to do in this situation.
One of the big things you have to consider in a base race is the champions. How well can they push? Jax and Sivir will push extremely fast, way faster than anyone else. But NRG or Fox just doesn't decide what to actually do, and that's a spectator bug. Yeah, the inhibitor is still up, and then they're trying to recall, but it's already way too late. Sivir and Jax stayed, so it was a really good decision from Oki to stay behind and wait to see what Fox is doing. He sees that they're not reacting, they immediately go, and even if they made the recall right now, it's already too late. They have summoners, they have Sivir ult, they can kite around, and they just push way too fast. And to be honest, Fox is a team that is just at the bottom of the macro play. They should be trying to avoid every single macro scenario in the game.
Standard
no
lanes,
macro play, match every time. If there's somebody, just defend and just go off mistakes and wave clear.
Yeah, one thing I'll say just with the base race situation is usually the team that recalls first actually comes out ahead, and there's a number of reasons. One, in a situation where you recall like 3, if the team that stayed can't kill those 3 and dive the double Nexus turrets, they're going to hold, and your 2 people that you left behind are going to end the game. Because you're going to chase them down, they'll never get their recalls off. Even if you can't stop the recalls and you decide to recall the 2, you're on the map first. These other guys haven't gone back to shop yet. They're going to be, pressured around Baron most likely. And there's a number of situations that crop up where if you just leave all 5 to split push, like that support's not really doing much there, like unless it's like you're going for that dive. So it was just a mistake.
And unfortunately for these teams, base races don't happen very often, so you have very few options or opportunities to understand or learn these things. Either way, player of the game is going to go to Kwas on that Jax 6, 1, and 3. I mean, we mentioned how he shouldn't have been a part of this game. He was gifted that initial kill, and his way back in, he took advantage of it.
You get a gift, I mean, at least you know how to use it. So there's that.
He's a very happy boy with that gift. He's like, all right, thank you for that kill, Froggen. Thank you for not punishing the wave.
Yeah.
And then from there, he really did a good job making sure he was relevant the whole rest of the game. There were a lot of times where he was able to get flanks off and be the first one into fights. So he did a good job.
81.8% kill participation.
As a top laner and as Jax, that's actually unusual. Either way, good on NRG. They'll be happy with their victory 2-0 over Echo Fox. We're out for a commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we're bringing the match of the week with us. Immortals versus Cloud9 begins in just 3.5.
Got a